So you kind of touched on this, Ben. Jays are incredibly deep at catcher, and there's kind of two trains of thoughts when it comes to this catching situation. I'm just kind of curious where you land. There's the idea that you move Jansen, Kirk, or Moreno in the offseason for pitching or whatever your need may be that you're moving them for. The other thought is you don't move any of them, and you maybe start to move Moreno around a little bit more to get at bats for him. If you, Ben Ennis, are the GM, what direction do you go?
Yeah, I don't think the impetus is to move any of them. I mean, that's the toughest position to find offense from.
Mm-hmm.
You were the best hitting team out of the catching position all season long, and you had one of the better DH seasons as well. And that's with Danny Jansen only finding a couple of, I think, single digit starts at DH. It was primarily Alejandro Kirk, and then yeah, you would rotate Teoscar Hernandez occasionally. But yeah, I think if you've got somebody who's capable of playing that position defensively and can hit, that means that they're capable of playing a lot of places defensively. I mean, there's a reason why so many prospects start up the middle, right? You try and get your prospect to play center field, shortstop, or catcher. And once they can't hack it, then you move them off those positions. I mean, Carlos Delgado was a catcher, right? Like a lot of these guys start off as catchers and move other places. But Gabriel Moreno appears to be a pretty good defender at that position, which is it's a bonus. And the idea of
Cannon of an arm.
yeah, I mean, we think of utility players or those Ben Zobrist types as being infielders and outfielders, but what if Gabriel Moreno is a utility player that also catches once a week for you and then plays in the infield and some corner outfield? I mean, sounds pretty good to me. I wouldn't mess with what the Blue Jays have behind the plate right now.
It was pretty cool that last game of the season there with the doubleheader, watching him, start at catcher and then get moved to second base and third base and play some left field. And yeah, it was great. I'm all for that. I absolutely love that. Thank you so much, Ben. We've had a blast talking baseball with you. Would love to do this again sometime. Do you have a few minutes for us to kind of go through the chat here and maybe get a few listener questions for you?
Sure. Yeah.
All right.
Put you on the spot there. We'll make it quick.
We'll make it quick. First one comes in from Raul. Says Jays need to get Hunter Green from the Reds and need to make a big push for Edwin Diaz and right-handed pitching. Use Nate Pearson as the reliever and Ricky Tiedemann. What are your thoughts on that?
To what? Use Pearson as trade bait? I assume, like,
I suppose so. Yeah.
Hunter Green definitely throws hard. That seems good. That's the type of guy that you'd be looking to add. The idea that Nate Pearson has much value at all, hard to imagine at this point. And it's not to say that he's not going to have an even great career. Like, that's still possible. We've seen this sport. I mean, it's one where 27-year-olds sometimes reach the majors for the first time and start close to Hall of Fame careers. I mean, we saw Edwin Encarnacion, Jose Bautista, even Josh Donaldson was a late bloomer. I mean, those are hitters and not pitchers. But we even saw, Chris Carpenter when he was a starting pitcher for the Blue Jays, and so many people ready to give up on him because he was oft injured and never really produced to the level that they thought he would. And he ends up in St. Louis as kind of a Cardinal legend. So I'm not writing off Nate Pearson, but the idea that somebody would be banking on him or that he would be the centerpiece of some massive deal. And Ricky Tiedemann does have all that new fandangled top prospect glow about him. And I think he's more likely to be a factor in the Blue Jays rotation next year than he is trade bait this offseason.
Okay. Next one, not really a question, but Jason says Ben's bobblehead collection is intimidating the hell out of me. Nice bobblehead collection you got there.
It should. That's good. That was the
it should.
The object of the bobblehead collection was intimidation. I'm doing pretty well. I just moved, so I'm trying to decide if this is the exact setup that I want, but I'm all right. I'm hanging in there with my bobblehead collection, I would say.
We really appreciate all of you within the walk-off community. This thing continues to grow and become an animal of its own. It's a little bit overwhelming, but honestly, we love talking Blue Jays baseball and all the interaction that you folks are involved with us. Thank you so much. Discord, feel free to join it. That is always free. The show, or the link is in the show notes. You can follow us on Twitter at Walk Off Podcast, on Instagram, the Walk Off Podcast. And if you are watching on YouTube currently and you're not subscribed, we'd really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. All the best, everybody. Cheers.